Hello, welcome, Paul. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, Bianca. How are you?
I'm very good, and how are you?
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Yes, happy holiday season. I know you guys are in different countries and all, but for anyone that's here in the stateside, well, happy holidays to you.
Tomorrow is US Thanksgiving, so
Yeah,
for
yeah,
the Canadian folks in here.
yeah. You guys don't do anything like, well, do you do something like that? That's it.
Yeah, we have Thanksgiving, but it's a different time always than the US one.
Oh, okay, okay. What is the Thanksgiving about there?
Well, it's pretty much the same. It's just
When
on a different date.
so when the country was founded, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, that's good stuff. Wow. Hmm. Well, today I'm delighted to talk about the buyer's consultation. So many realtors out there, or even the experienced ones like me, uh, 23 years in the business. When this came about, I think last year, that NAR had the lawsuit, National Association of Realtors, and they had to pivot and require that the buyer's agent have documents signed prior to even entering or engaging in any real estate transaction. That was something else that I just had to hold my breath and like, how do I deal with it? But today's going to be good because we're going to talk about that, and I have a little treat for you. I'm going to also show you a sample of the actual document that I use for the buyer's broker's agreement here in the state of Florida. And I also was able to get a copy of one for the Ontario board and also the RICO as well. So it's going to be very interesting. So right now, I don't think I need any participant, but before we get started, I'd like to take maybe three or four people, just kind of come up and tell us how we can help and where they're from. Just kind of introduce because we're waiting for people to come in. I like to take the first 5 minutes to give people an opportunity to kind of come in and get set up. So go right ahead. Who would like to come up? 3 to 4 people. Say hello and where you're from and what do you want to achieve on this call.
Isaac, we have Isaac in the chat from Aventura. Hi, Isaac. Would you like to talk to us? I can give you the ability to talk, and you can tell us more about yourself and what you expect from this session. Here you go.
Isaac. Hello,
You're
Isaac.
un you're unmuted. You can talk, but we can't. Oh,
Sure.
he's chatting in. You can also talk, Isaac. It's no problem. If your microphone is working, we should be hearing you. So he says he's been in the business in Florida, so it's
It's my colleague.
your colleague, yeah.
Cool.
We have Sandeep here. He is from Calgary, Alberta. Uh, Sandeep, I'm going to give you the ability to talk. You can tell us more about yourself and what you expect of today's presentation.
Okay, hello to everyone. My name is Sandeep and I'm from Calgary, Alberta. So I have like 5 years of experience in the real estate, but uh, this is my like first year I'm doing the cold calling and yeah, so like earlier I was just doing the referral business. So I really want the proper presentation so that I can talk to my buyers and they have a more trust on me. So like the language. So yeah, I need a more language, like a proper words so that they are really impressed and yeah, they can have a trust on me. Yeah, that's all.
All right. So Sandeep, you're like saying, you'd like to get tips on a good script on how to deal with the buyer's consultation. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, like kind of a good script or yeah, like a proper method. Like I
Yeah.
know, like first we have to like build the trust of the clients. Then we have to like ask the needs, like what are their needs, and then we have to present ourselves, right? So like
Yeah.
what is the proper method? So what is like first we need to ask their needs, or first we present ourselves? So like it's kind of a confusing to me. So yeah, so that's what I need.
For sure. Well, we're going to go through step by step. There's at least probably 7 to 8 bullets that you're going to see on the screen that I'm going to go through that would tell you the things that you need to be an expert and really master closing 99% of your buyers, from getting them connected with you, selling them, closing them, to get them to even sign your buyer's broker's agreement with 5%, 5% commission that they're committed to pay you. You want to see that? I'm going to show you. So stay put. Who's next?
Okay, we're gonna try Isaac again. Isaac, here you go. Anybody else? You can also chat in.
Hi, Isaac.
And
Hi, I saw one of my agents there. Mishu, thanks for being here. Go ahead.
yeah,
Isaac,
you can.
what would you like to say? Oh, he's connecting my laptop. Anybody else while Isaac connects his laptop would like to tell us why they're here? What do you want to achieve? Where you're from?
If you don't want to go voluntarily, I will pick somebody. So,
Oh my God,
oh.
Bianca, you're so mean.
Okay, we have another volunteer. I'm really sorry. I'm not sure how to pronounce Mick or Mish.
Mishu, Mishu, that's
Mishu.
that's our
Here you
agent.
go. Oh,
Mishu.
Mishu. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
My background's kind of loud. I took the kids to the pool so I could have some peace.
Okay, okay. Thanks for being here.
No problem. My name is Mishu. I'm from Florida, born and raised. One day I'll get out and come back. Um, I'm basically in this meeting to learn more about buyers and how to get the buyers to sign the buyer's agreement. I just want more knowledge, basically.
Well, you want to learn how the best techniques, right? And the best legal terms and all of that. Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
All right. We got you covered. We got you covered. You're going to see that. We're going to go through the Florida as is buyer's brokers agreement, what we use here in our firm, PRA and Company Realtors, which you're a part of. Thanks for being here. And then
No problem.
we're going to use one of the Canadians document that I had to kind of review. I'm not going to go in depth on the documents. It's a 3-page document. I'm not an attorney. I'm not going to go in depth on it. However, I'm going to highlight one of the key parts in what sets you up for success in closing the deal. So, who else would like to come up? Isaac. Thank you, Mishu. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Is Isaac, you ready to say hello? Anybody else? And I'll get started, Bianca.
It's no problem, Isaac. If you cannot talk, if your microphone isn't working, you can also chat in all of your questions. I'm really sorry it's not working out for you. We would have really loved to hear from you.
Yes, we would have, but that's okay. We don't mind. So let's get into it. Good
Oh,
afternoon. Go ahead. Go ahead.
oh, he says, got it.
All right.
Can you
Come on.
unmute yourself? Come on.
Come
We are
on,
waiting for you. We are very excited here.
The big dog Alex is here. Come on, come on. No, Isaac is here. Tell us, Isaac. You're from Aventura, Miami. But you have to unmute. I can't unmute him. Can you, Bianca? Can you?
Yeah, I have clicked on unmute, but something is technical difficulties, let's call it. It's
All
not
right.
working for Isaac.
All right.
Okay.
Well, let's get ready to rock and roll. Okay, let's get on the screen. Screen test, screen test. You guys are seeing right now my presentation. It says it's time to grow on your screen. Is that correct or incorrect? It says time to grow now. Do you see it?
Yes, I can see it.
Wonderful. Everybody can see it. Put your hands up. Wake up. The reason you're here is to learn how to do an effective buyer consultation. You're going to want to stay to the end and focus because I'm going to give you some of the top producer skills that we have been deploying here in the South Florida region and the coaching that we've done with realtors all over this world. So we're grateful for the opportunity to be a part of Agent Locator. That's one of the best CRM systems we use to cultivate and to kind of nurture our leads. But you know, what's the point in getting 20,000 leads in your database if you really don't know how to convert them? And the biggest thing to convert them is your selling skills, believe it or not. How do you interact with a client? How do you get someone? So I'm going to show you some of the tips right now. You're going to see in this presentation how to actually get a buyer to agree to pay 5% on the buyer's broker's agreement. Now we're going to have it on there, and I'm going to show you the reason I have it on there and how it affects you if you don't have it on there. It's very important because if you don't have it on there, you won't realize it, but you might not be entitled to it. So who am I? My name is Paul R. Atkinson. I am a certified professional coach and author. I wrote 2 books. They're on the screen. The top one is called The Art and Science of the Real Estate Agent. Day 1, close your deal. And the reason why I say day 1, close a deal is because the first time I got my first client in November 2003, my brother was a mortgage broker. And I got my license. And on that day, he says to me, here, I've got a lead for you. It's $250,000. They're qualified for FHA. Give them a call. So I gave them a call about 1 p.m. and talked to them for a little bit. Brand new realtor. And I said, when do you guys want to see properties? And they said, oh, this evening. I said, what? My heart started racing. I ran down to Century 21 because I knew the broker, negotiated my split, put my license, got everything I needed, run to the MLS board, joined the board. And then that night I rehearsed and I practiced, studied the contract a little bit. And I closed my first deal on day 1. Just like that. And I wrote it in the book. Day 1, close the first deal. Collect a check, $500, made payable to Century 21. The next day, presented the offer. Offer was accepted, $233,000. I made over $5,000. I said, oh my God, real estate is phenomenal. My second book, a few years later, I decided to give the secret sauce, which is the 5 steps of the sale. And that's a selling technique that we use to get buyers to sign buyer's broker's agreement with 5% in the box. If you'd like some help or some connections with us, there's 2 QR codes. The one on your left, you want to get that. That is the Successful Business Academy website. We are a real estate school that provides the Florida Real Estate Commission requirements for someone to get their license and maintain their license. So we have courses there that people can take part in that's required to get their CE and continue education post-licensing. And on the right, you have a growth call that from Agent Locator, complimentary, for you to connect with a certified professional coach and bring your issues. Nothing is sold on the growth calls. We don't try to solicit people, but try to get people to come to us versus we go to them. So, how did I know or discover that when this all started, it was going to be easy, right? I'm going to tell you a story. The story is that I got into sales in 1993. I was in the United States Navy and I was a recruiter. So I was kind of pushed into sales. I was an electrician for 7 years. And my chief at the time, Chief Crunk, says, hey, Paul, you're articulate. Go be a recruiter. So I went to be a recruiter and I was failing in 1993. I was in my 20s. I actually was crying, literally crying emotionally because I couldn't get anybody to join the Navy. And so, I figured it out because I said, man, I'm not going to suck at this. I'm going to figure it out. And a whole bunch of things came to play, from your personal attitude towards your business, your sales business, to your mindset, which comes from that, to your techniques and how you actually persuade and influence and seduce the client. Yes, we're not talking about sex, seducing. We're talking about seduction by Robert Greene in his book, The Art of Seduction. How you could conquer the world by actually influencing and persuading people. And buyers are people. And I know that it was hard when we got this change in our industry. Maybe Canada had it before even us. I don't know. But I know this. When it happened and I had to start using the buyer's brokers agreement, I was in the money. Woohoo! Since then, I have been closing and closing and closing, and the people around us have been closing and closing. And so will you today be closing, closing, closing all of the buyers that you interact with. How? We're going to show you how. So this is easy, but you do have to have the right mindset, positive mental attitude, and you do have to have some kind of selling skills. If you don't have any one of these, then I must tell you, you need to find a place where you can get it. But I'm not leaving you hanging dry. We are able to provide that to you. You can go to our website, successfulbusinessacademy.org, and find resources there. And you can also reach out to me directly. So there is a school right there in the middle, Successful Business Academy. Google it. You'll find our ratings, you'll find our feedback, and you'll kind of find out all the stuff about us. So today, we're going to talk about the buyer broker's agreement. We have one from PRA and Company Realtors that, I'm the broker there. So we have privilege to get this document, and it's pre-filled out to some degree. So I'm going to show you how easy it is. And then Megan is one of our coaches and one of our clients and customers and just dear friend to us and a great resource. She was able to provide us with this buyer representation agreement through the Canadian Ontario Real Estate Association. So I looked at it and I want to point out some things to it, but let's start with first. We want to start with the PRA one because I want to kind of show you how comfortable you should be. So before we do that, I do want to kind of work into this in a way where we're like showing value. So let's just say in your mind, I want you to kind of understand this now. You are going to see me and you discuss openly the contract, the agreements, and I'm going to point out the key points to them to you. But before we do that, I want us to understand that this is a step-by-step process before you get here. Before you get there, your key points in having this engagement with your buyer involves 7 areas or over 7 areas, actually 10 areas or so, that you will need to conquer. All right. So you've got to use your selling skill set is the first thing. But how do you define selling skill set? Selling skill set is something that, you know what? Let me pause and let's check the audience. Bianca, can you get 2 people? We need 2 samples, 2 human beings in this presentation. And you 2 people come to us and tell us, in your opinion, how do you define sales skill? What does sales skill mean to you? Go ahead. Bianca, please pick 2 people and let's see what they say.
I'm gonna go with Isaac because he didn't have the opportunity to talk. So,
Thank you.
hi, Isaac. Finally,
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
yes,
but you have both things on. You should turn off the mic on something. Your phone. Turn off the mic on your phone.
Okay. Is
Yeah.
it better?
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Yeah, well, what was the question again, please? If I
Look on the screen. Look on the screen. What is sales skills to you? Sales skills. Sales skills. What is that?
I think it's empathy. When you when they're able to connect to the person and feel exactly what they what they meant, what they wanted to be, what they wanted to reach. I
Yeah.
think it's empathy.
Okay. Okay. So Isaac has been doing this for a long time. He's a great realtor down there in Aventura, and he comes and he says sales skills is empathy. Empathy is like you kind of understanding the people wants and the needs, and you kind of discover that and understand it and acknowledge it. And then what do you do with it after that, Alex? Isaac, sorry.
Uh, then you make questions.
Discovery, right? You find out.
Yeah, you have to find out what they want. You have to be, being friendly. You can reach. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah. Get connected with them, right?
Yeah, you gotta find
Yeah.
the strong of this
Yeah.
meeting.
Yep.
The
Sales skills.
connection.
Sales skills, empathy. Isaac says sales skills, empathy. I'm gonna write that down. Who else comes up? Thank you, and Isaac. Thank you very much. Who else?
Uh-huh.
What is sales skills to you? Who else can come up? What is sales skills to you? We've got a lot of people here. Come on, wake up. Stop getting distracted. Focus right now. Come up here.
I'm gonna go with Diane if she's not too shy. Diane, I'm gonna give you the ability to talk.
Good.
Am I the Diane you're looking for?
Yes, you are, Diane.
Um, I think empathy is the biggest part of it. Um, you have to make a connection with your people and then find out what they need and work on providing the services that they need. And I find that certain people need the kind of service that I provide, and that's the kind of people I attract.
Very nice. So, Diane, why does over 80% of us in this room, 80% of us, and I'll tell you when I'm looking at the numbers, it's a lot. Why is it that over 80% of us fail to do that? What do you think?
I don't know. I don't know.
Interesting, isn't it? Very
And I don't know what it is I've got that makes me successful with this business. Um, like I'm enthused, I'm energetic,
yeah.
I'm positive,
Yeah.
I'm
It's that.
friendly.
Yeah. It's the mindset. You have your own mindset. That's the remedy. What Diane is saying is what we are telling you. You have to have the positive mental attitude. If you don't have it, you cannot emanate it.
No, you can't fake it.
You
I
see?
think back when I took my course, I've been in real estate 19 years.
Nice.
I started very late in life. Took me a long time to find out what I wanted to be when I grew up. And it just, but I think back on that class and there was 35 or 40 people in there. And there's only about four whose names I recognized after 5 years. There's only
Wow.
about four that were
Yeah.
still in the business. It blew me away
Yeah. That's the
because in the class they were clever.
yeah.
I'd look at them, I'd listen to them, and I think, boy, they're going to do really well. And
I can
they
tell you this.
disappeared.
It's just failures. We run across as a business owner. Thank you so much, Diane. Thank you so much,
Okay.
Diane. We run across so much heartaches as a realtor that we actually get deflated. If you don't have a system that will allow you to generate motivation, and then the same system that helps you to get the motivation, sustain the motivation, like Diane, myself, perhaps Isaac, and then many more of you here, hopefully, then you are going to be the statistic of 80% in this room and in your industry and in your market that will fail. So listen very carefully. Go and get selling skills. And selling skills is your positive mental attitude and your ability to influence, connect, and persuade people, making a connection with them. And there's many different ways of doing that. So let's continue on the screen. You're going to need to, before we get into this presentation with the buyers and actually giving them our agreement and showing them our little one-page flyer, which I'm going to give you. I'm going to show you all this today. You need to make sure that you know in your mind, wait a second, hold on, I've got sales skills. I do. Because if you don't, I'm sorry. They're gonna be like a dog that smells that you're afraid of them, and they're gonna bite you. Rah! That's what's gonna happen. So the next thing that we go into here, connect with your buyers. So if you're gonna do this presentation and you're gonna do this consultation with them, you need to connect with them. What Diane is saying is great. What Isaac is saying is phenomenal. Both of them are saying phenomenal things, and I'm going to piggyback on that. And I'm telling you, all three of us are telling you, you got to get connected with the buyers. Now, here's a tip for you. Here's a tip. When you connect with the buyers, okay, we're going to want you to get the LLTB. What the heck is that? LLTB. You need to get the buyers, focus, and say to yourself, I got to get this buyer to like me, to listen to me, to trust me, and to believe in me. But how do you do that? Woo! I'm not going to be able to spend time with you on that today. If you want to, you could connect with us, or you could go to your mentor, go to your coach, whatever you do, and just say, put your hands up, say, listen, coach, I need to learn how to get my client to like me, to listen to me, to trust me, to believe in me. That's what you need to do. Next thing is you need to be able to influence and persuade the buyer. How and why? Well, how can you influence and persuade someone? Let's define influence. Influence is when you're able to educate the client. So think about educating them on something. You could say, hey, listen, I'm holding up a blue car in front of me right now. This is a blue car. You pull the car door this way and it opens. And then this one opens. And when you drive down the street, oh my gosh, you're going to look so beautiful in this beautiful blue shiny car. That's educating and that's inspiring. So you're going to see that as we go through this buyer's brokers agreement, I might role play a little bit, but maybe not. I'm going to go through in a way and I'm going to speak as if I'm speaking to my client, and you could kind of see and mimic me, that I am inspiring them and I'm educating them. That's what causes you to persuade them. Persuasion comes right after that. You influence, and then persuasion is like the end result. It's like, hey, they are persuaded. They bought it. They bought it. You influence through educating and inspiring, and then they're persuaded. And they say, okay, why do you need this? You need it because it's just the beginning. Your buyer's broker's agreement consultation is just the beginning of the biggest hurdles you have ahead of you. You have to get from there. You've got to be able to influence, persuade them, and close them on picking a house. Ha! Oh boy, that could be a frustrating thing when they just don't know how to make a decision. You got to know how to do it. After picking the house, they've got to get through the inspections. Oh boy, the inspection come back and there's $5,000 worth of repairs needed. It's a $500,000 home, so big deal. How do you convince them to move forward? After that, the appraisal comes back $20,000 short. How do you sell them to pay that $20,000 if they really need it? You're not doing anything unethical. If they really need the house and it works well for them and the value is there, it's worth the $20,000 because there's nothing else involved around the community. We don't know, but you have to have the skill set. So that is why you need to know how to influence, persuade someone, the buyer in particular. And how you do it is by educating them and inspiring them. Only then, after you have these three things that we just mentioned, you would move into the agreement. And we're going to talk about the agreement in a minute. You're going to see it on the screen in just a few. You want to show all your points to the agreement. I'm not going to be showing all the points in this agreement. I'm going to be showing you the commission point on the one that we use in Florida. I'm going to show you how I put 5% on there and how I talk to them about why I did it and how we negotiate from there. But you have to show value. I'm going to confirm my value, and I'm going to show you how confirming the value in the next presentation from this slide. You need to allow them to feel comfortable. As you're going through this presentation with them and you've shown the value, you got to ask, hey, listen, do you feel comfortable with this right now? Are you feeling what I'm feeling? I feel comfortable that I'm demonstrating this and go over it with you. I know it's the law, and we shouldn't enter any home or anything before going over this agreement. But I feel comfortable because I've shown everything to you. How do you feel? You got to ask them, okay? Because this is a partnership, and that builds trust, by the way. Then you would go ahead and sign it first. Just start, look down on your pen, get your pen, and start to initial first page and start going through. Take deep breaths, because this is when your heart's going to be racing. Your heart's going to be like, oh my God, what are they going to sign? What are they going to sign? Don't worry about it. Just relax. And then hand them the pen, and then give them a copy, and then build trust from there. So whatever they sign, give them a copy of it. Let them feel comfortable. Say, hey, listen, you've got a copy. How can you get a copy? Get them a copy. You could bring two if you're doing it in the office, or if you're doing it on Zoom. There are many different places to do this, by the way. You could do it on Zoom if you have a strong rapport. Like my repeat clients, I'm so relaxed with them. I've sold them before 1, 2, 3, even maybe 4 houses. I've been in the business 23 years, so I've got a lot of repeat customers. And when they come and they're like, Paul, we want to sell. I said, hey, you guys heard the new law, right? You got to sign this paper before I take you out. But don't worry, you're going to see 5% on there, but don't worry, we're going to work it out. And they just sign it. I'm laughing because, I'm comfortable with it. And when I'm comfortable with it, they become comfortable with it. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So you could do this on a phone call. You could do this on a Zoom. You could do it in person. You could do it at basically on the front of the car, when you're like getting ready to go into the property. You could like stop right there and say, wait, hold on. We cannot enter into this until we go over this buyer's broker's agreement. Remember, I sent you a copy, or if not, if you lost it, here, let me go ahead and fill it out with you. There's many times that we've sent the buyer's broker's agreement to a brand new client that I've not engaged with before. And I kind of go over it with them on the phone. And I said, please sign it before we get over to the new property to see it. And they don't do it. And I don't sweat it. I pull up, I greet them, I shake their hands, I connect with them, and then I said, okay, let's find in your email the agreement, and then we go through it. So now, before we get into the next situation, you must know how to close the deal. So how do you do that? By going to the top of this list, evaluating your sales skill set. What is it? Do you know how to close the deal? So you show the property and you close it up. All right. All right. Now let's just stop sharing the screen here, and let's go into some of the resources. And then don't worry, at the end, we are going to get an opportunity to talk things through. One of the first things that I like to go through, and I'll show this to you. These are my tips. And if you want to get a copy of this, just use the QR code that you see when you see it, and go ahead and reach out to me and I'll get it to you. I use a buyer's broker's agreement. And you see our company on here. I'm the broker, the PRA company, Realtors. We have about maybe 16 agents. And I've been a top producer since 2003. Remember, I told you the story. My brother gave me a lead and I closed it on the first day. So what does a top producer mean? It means that you're into that level of closing multiple transactions, like 30, 40, 50, over whatever millions in sales volume. So I'm not here to rub that in your face. I just want to give you the authority. I'm someone that's here that is leading by example. So I made this up years ago, or a few months ago, when I heard this thing happening. And I said, okay, when I sit down with my buyers, I go through this. I said, I'm going to be giving you the pre-approval assistance. Do you have a lender that you prefer to work with, or do you want to work with me? But when I ask that question, it's like a rhetorical question because I've already got them to listen to me, to like me, and to trust me and believe in me. So more than likely, 9 times out of 10, when I said, do you have a lender or would you like to work with the one that I trust and believe in? That's how I put it. These are the pre-programmed words. Do you have a lender or would you like to work with the one that I trust and I believe in? And they said, well, Paul, I'll go with yours. Oh, wonderful. Hold on a second. Let me get him on the phone. I get him on the phone. So we get the pre-approval. I tell the buyers, listen, after I help you with the pre-approval, getting the financing together and all that stuff with our trusted resources, I'm also going to give you a tailored property search. Remember you said you wanted 3 bedrooms, 2 baths in the Coral Springs area, this area, Aventura, that, and you wanted to do with fence and you wanted a pool. I'm going to give you specific listings and I'm not going to send you anything that's already on the contract. Everything is available. And not only that, but I'm going to give you a website that I have and take a look at it. I might show them a sample of it. It is for my private clients. Everything on here is available for you to see. So I'm going to make a tailored search for you. Then I'm going to give you proper screening of the properties. So if you tell me that you're wanting certain things, I'm going to make sure they're suitable for you. But even if you say, I want to make sure that the HOA doesn't have any 40-year inspections due on it or 50-year, well, guess what? When you give me the list back from the properties that you've selected, I'm going to go to extra effort and I'm going to make the phone call, ring, ring. Hello, does this building have a 40-year completed? I'm going to be working. Okay. The next thing is the buyer's broker's agreement. You're going to have this in writing that I'm going to perform in this manner and more ways that I'm going to show you in a little bit. And it's the law. So I'm going to have an agreement after this, and I'm going to show you how that agreement benefits you and me. You see, because we have to be transparent, and it's the law, right? So we're here to protect you, but don't worry, everything is going to be just fine. I'm going to help you to schedule in tours on the day that you want to go, the time that you want to go. I'm going to help you with, after you select the property, comparative market analysis. I'm going to use my skills and my resources to show you the value on the house, if it will appraise for what the seller is asking, and what it's going to help to guide you what you should offer. I'm going to even tell you, like, if we go in a house and we see multiple business cards on the table, I'm going to say to you, hey, listen, buyer, check this out. You see that? Look, there's 2 people ahead of you, so you really have to be aggressive on your offer. That's what I'm looking for, right? This is my help. Offer package. When it's time to make that offer, you could count on me to write up the offer so professional. I've been in the business over 23 years. It's going to look good. We use a system called Form Simplicity. It's going to be electronic signature, so convenient for you. You don't have to meet up with me or anything like that. I'm just going to go through it and just get everything written up. I'm going to get the tax roll. I'm going to verify the seller is who they say they are. I'm going to pay attention to the instructions that was given by the listing agent, and your offer is going to be amazing. I'm going to put a pre-approval on there. When they get an offer package from me, based on for your behalf, it's going to be the best. Guaranteed. Trust me. That's what all my clients say. So I've got you covered. Negotiating skills. Oh my gosh. I wrote a book. The book is called The 5 Steps to the Sale. Oh, I read a book. That's called such and such. Oh, my broker is a good negotiator and he taught me. Oh, my mentor is a good negotiator. Explain your value. What is your value? Be honest about it. What makes you good at negotiating? Contract ratification. Once everything gets in place, you have to do a lot of coordination. You have to remember a lot of dates. And if you miss a date, Mr. Buyer, Mrs. Buyer, you could be in default. That's what I'm here for. And my team, I have a transaction coordinator. I pay them out of my pocket to make sure that your inspection is on time, your appraisal is on time, and they keep track of everything. Closing. When it's time for closing, oh my goodness, I'm going to be there with you. And as a matter of fact, I want you to expect a bottle of champagne and some flowers because I'm going to bring it to you. I love giving gifts. You can expect that from me. And I'm going to do a walkthrough with you. We're going to make sure everything is good. Then we're going to go to the closing. You're going to wire your funds. And then we're going to go to the closing. You're going to sit down. You're going to sign all your documents. And then once it's signed and funded, I'll get you the keys. Now, post closing. Who else does this? I'm one of the best realtors out there. After you've settled in, you might see me or my staff reach out to you 2 or 3 weeks later, like, how's it going? Electricity's turned on, everything is good. Did you connect with the HOA? Did you get your booklet for make your payments? Is everything good? And then once a month, for the rest of you owning the home, rest of the time owning the home, I'm going to be sending you a newsletter of what's going on in the community. People, this is where you build value. Now, after doing this, and then we go into this thing that they call this buyer's broker's agreement. How do you think the buyer will feel? And let's use the PRA one first. So on your screen, Bianca, please tell me, are you seeing the PRA and Company Realtors exclusive buyer's brokers agreement?
Yes.
Beautiful. This is a little cheat sheet for you guys. It's pre-filled out. And obviously the consumer name goes here. The terms, the time that you put, the date you put in here is like typically 90 days. I usually say the type of property is what they want to see. They want a townhome, single family home, villa, or condo. And the city you put it in there, okay, they want to see something in Aventura where Isaac is at. So we go and we say, okay, Aventura, and then I usually put the neighboring cities. Aventura is basically North Miami. So I'll say Aventura, comma, North Miami. How do you fill this out? I'm not going to go through all of this broker assistance will, blah, 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 blah. Forget about that. Consumer's obligation. You know this document. What I'm here to tell you is you should go through with them. This is all filled out. And you would tell them, okay, the buyer's assistance, and read this through with them and say what it is. Sum it up for them. Your obligation as a buyer means that you should conduct all negotiation, blah, 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 blah. Okay. And then retainer. I go in and I say to them when I'm going through this, in the retainer, I put $0. As you could see, I like working with you. I'm comfortable with you. I'm not charging you a retainer, but I am eligible to charge you a retainer. And typically, sometimes I would charge a retainer and you would just, get it funded back. So I could charge you $1,000 retainer to get started working with you today. And then when we actually get paid the commission inside of the deal at closing, I could credit it back to you. That's fine. It's totally legit. It's a retainer. Compensation. I want to talk about this area. And tell me if you see things going blue right now. Do you see it? You see this?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, cool. Let's read it together. It says compensation is earned when during the term of this agreement or any renewal or extension, the consumer, which is you, the buyer, or any person acting for you on behalf of you, the consumer, contracts to acquire real property as specified in this agreement, or defaults on any contract to acquire property. The compensation is for broker services, my services, compensation received by broker, if any, from the owner. This is the big part of it. From the owner or owner's broker rendered to the consumer will reduce any amount owed to the consumer per the paragraph. I point this out to them and I say, listen, the way this works, we have to fill this form out. Most important part of this form for me is that you recognize that I am charging you and I'm saying I'm entitled to 5%. The reason why I put 5% is if for some reason there is a seller out here in my market, Broward County, Miami, West Palm Beach, and they are paying, which I don't know. I really don't know. As I get into this thing of showing you properties, I don't know. What if all of a sudden I'm showing you properties and you say, "Oh, Paul, look at that. I want to go to Lennar Homes. There's a new construction." And I walk over there with you and we go to the sales center and I said, this is buyer blah, blah, blah. And they have me fill out a form. And on the form, it says, if I bring a buyer, I get 5%. What if that happens? So buyer, let me explain to you. I put 5% here because if that exists, I can be entitled to getting it. If I don't put 5% here, if I put 4 or 3 or 2.5, then whosoever is paying a 5%, guess what? I can't get it because I already entered into agreement with you. But here's what I want to tell you. It's this. My standard rate is 3%. And perhaps you probably hear that, right? Some realtors say they'll work for 2.5% or 3%, correct? I want you to be rest assured in our marketplace. Do you remember this part of the agreement? Can you read it to me? What does it say? The owner or the owner's broker, if they pay 3%, which I'm willing to accept, even 2.5%, to be honest, I will take it. I will take it, and you don't have to move forward on anything to pay me anything extra. Are you comfortable with that? 9 times out of 10, when I explain and educate my clients about this, they say, "Paul, where do I sign?" No problem. It also goes on in the document to say, hey, that you're entitled to 50% of a rent, the first month's rent, if it's lease. And then, of course, if there's any other fees, our brokerage firm charges our clients the $4.99 transaction fee, and we tell them that it's there. At closing, they would pay that. Now, what if the buyer says to you, "Well, Paul, I don't know you like that. I don't feel comfortable with 5%. What if they object? What do you do? Okay. The first thing you want to tell them is, okay, we have a 90-day protection period here. So after this agreement terminates, we have 90 days that I'm still entitled to a fee. I don't even think we're going to get there, but I just want you to know that. But you said that you're concerned about signing this agreement. What if I told you that I'm concerned too, that you and I are not comfortable, but I want to make you comfortable? If we put the 5% here, please note, look what I've put because I trust you. Do you trust me? Because I trust you. My termination fee right here. You can terminate this agreement. If you want to fire me, I'm taking a risk with you today. You could just tell my broker, listen, I don't like working with Paul anymore. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't do a good job. I want out, and I will terminate it. But I tell you what, you're never going to say that about me. I am going to work my butt off. So here we go. Let's sign. Are we good? Booms. And I sign off. That's the agreement. So now, before we get into the questions part on this, I want you to hold your questions. Let's go into the other agreement, which would be for the Ontario, right? But before we get into the Ontario, are you aware that inside of Canada, they have this situation where before you get into any kind of engagement with the real estate transactions with a buyer, you have to send them a guide. It's a 13-page guide. So when you're working with a buyer, do you know that you guys need to send them this? I'm sure your broker told you. And this guide basically just tells the consumer that they're considering to receiving services from a real estate agent or a broker. And they are entitled to get this form. So if you don't get it, Megan says, Megan is one of us here. She's with the coaching with us and just a great person, phenomenal. She provided this to it. Megan, if you're here, thank you so much. So it's like $50,000 is what I remember her saying. It could go up to $50,000 if you fail to give this to your client. So if you read it carefully, it says you need to give it to them. It didn't say that. It does say that, read the guide carefully and talk to your agent if you have any questions. I like this part. So basically, if I got a new buyer, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put them in my CRM and I'm going to email this to them. and I'm going to say to them, hey, listen, I send you a guide that we need to, it's called this buyers, it says working with a real estate agent. I just want to make sure it's in your inbox. Do you see it? It's from this Real Estate Council of Ontario. It's RICO. Oh, yes, I see it. Okay, they clicked on it. Okay, great. When you can, please read it. You have any questions, let me know. So I want you to recognize that we here at Successful Business Academy and Agent Locator recognize that these are some of the things that you Canadian agents have to do. We don't have to do it here in South Florida, but you guys do. Now, let's go into the Ontario Buyers Brokers Agreement. Tell me, everybody could see that, right?
Yes.
Thank you. This one is the Canadian one. You put your broker's information there, the address, you put telephone number, the buyer's information, all of that stuff. Then it has this right here, paragraph 2. Can you see paragraph 2 in blue? Do you see?
Yes, we can. Yes.
Okay, beautiful. It's the same kind of language that I recognize that's in the Florida one. And it says that the buyer acknowledges that right here, let's just read it through. The buyer acknowledges that the payment of any commissions by the listing broker or the seller will not make the brokerage either the agent or sub-agent of the listing brokerage or the seller. I don't even know what that means. But I tell you this, what it says, the buyer agrees to pay it right here, if any, to be paid at the bottom. The listing brokerage or by the seller, the buyer understands that if the brokerage is not to be paid by any compensation by a listing brokerage, then the buyer will pay the brokerage in full amount. So if you were to just look at the bottom piece right here, and you could say to your client, just as I do over here, listen, let me tell you, I charge you 5%. If you write in here 5%, like I say I do, I think right here is where you would put the 5%. If you do that, or 4%, or 3%, or 2%, or whatever you want to do, but if I were you, I'd go for the higher amount. And the reason you go for a higher amount is because if it's being paid, you can't come back and get the compensation. As far as I know, I don't know about Canada law. So if you explain to your client that, listen, even though I'm putting this 5% up here, I just want you to know that whatever they're paying, I'm willing to accept it, or we can discuss it. And I won't stand in your way of making the deal happen. You feel comfortable with me? That is how I would present this, in my opinion, to you. So now you can see I've highlighted to you where the commissions are. And it says if the if the seller or the seller's brokerage is paying a commission, that reduces the commission that is owed to you from the buyer. And this whole paragraph that talks about commission states that in there. Read it. We're going to open up the floor now for you to come and talk to us about what you've seen here. So go right ahead. We're at the top of the hour. What questions might you two have? Anybody that have any questions? And we'll go back to continuing on the slides. Let me know if we have anybody. Just interrupt me, okay, Bianca? Selling is required. And it's something that is not really given, because when you're dealing with this buyer's brokers agreement, not only do you need how to go through it and point out certain points of it, the main point being the compensation and how to manipulate in a good way the compensation to benefit the client and to you as well. You don't want to be short, left out if somebody's paying 5% or 4% and you signed only for 2%. Why would you do that? So you got to be able to sell. Selling is fun. It's a system, and you must know the system. It's an easy system to learn, and you've got to practice it once you learn it, right? Making connection, getting empathy is what Isaac said. And when you can sell real good, guess what? You're going to attract new business. I've been in the business 23 years and I have over 500 clients. And I tell you what, I'm in touch with them, newsletters, calling them once in a while, just reaching out to them, and so on. So if you're ready now to see your business grow, think about everything that you have heard here and apply it. Now, who would have some feedback? We're open up for the next 5 to 10 minutes. Tell me, what did you learn today, if there's anything, or what is your takeaway from this? And Bianca, you can bring anybody you want.
Yeah. I just want to add that for the Canadian folks, just to clear it up, that guide which Paul was presenting, that is the guide you should typically send according to the new Trees Act, which passed, I think it was last year, I think. So just so everybody is in the clear.
Yeah, that RICO thing, you've got to definitely show that required document. So I'll share it on the screen again. For those of you who might not see it, I'm sure you know it, your brokerage is telling you. This, Bianca, what Bianca is talking about is this.
Yeah.
It's a 13-page document. It's a buyer's guide, RICO information guide. It must be given. Anything else? Anybody else? What's your key takeaway? Nobody learned anything? This is a waste of time? Is that what you're saying?
Anybody wants to come up and ask any questions or just give some general feedback?
What about Sandid? Sandid, do you feel that you've learned or discovered anything new here today that would help you to develop a good script and a good techniques to be with buyers?
We have Hala here first. She raised her hand, and then I'm gonna let Sandeep talk as well.
Okay, thank you. And Mishu, if you're here, Mishu, tell us, did you learn anything? Go ahead, guys. Hi.
Hi,
Hala.
it's
Hi.
Hala talking now. I think that I really liked how you talked about giving them information, and that does gain their trust. I have used that in the past. It even works when I'm calling leads on Agent Locator. Sometimes they're in a rush to get off the phone, but when I start throwing numbers at them and information, they suddenly calm down and they actually want to engage and talk to me. So it was a good reminder to have that there and to bring it to my showings as well.
No doubt. Information and inspiring someone leads the human being to being influenced. Just when you define the word influence in your mind, just say to yourself, you know what? I got to educate them and I have to inspire them. That's it. Good tip, good trick. Thank you, Hala.
Thank you.
And Mishu is here, so I'm gonna give her the ability to talk. Just let me find her here. Here you go.
Hi, Mishu.
Hey, how are you again? Yeah, what I got from this is you basically have to know what you're talking about, have confidence to get the buyer or whoever you're working with to trust you, believe in you, and basically put their whole faith in what it is you're doing and make sure they know that you know your stuff, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to be comfortable with it and practice, practice, practice. So get that buyer's broker's agreement, read it over and over again. Look at the area where it says the compensation. Look at the last sentence that says if the seller's agent or the seller is paying any part of the commission that you're charging them, then it reduces it. So if you're charging them 5% and the seller is paying you or the seller's broker is paying you 5%, they don't have to pay zero. But if they're paying 4%, they don't have to pay one. And because I'm getting 4, I'll waive the 1. It's me who have to say to you, I agree. That's it. Me. So, there you
I
go.
agree with what you're saying.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Mishu. Anybody else?
Yeah, we have Isaac in the chat who is asking, so what is the risk of showing the property first, then have the form signed?
The risk, Isaac, in
Yeah.
Florida is a $2,000 fine. That's the risk. It says it quite clearly in the law, Florida law. I don't know about Canada,
It's the
but
same in Canada. I'm not sure about the amount, but yeah.
okay. Yeah. Isaac, when you go to Showtime and you press that button, you ever notice sometimes there's a screen that comes up and it says, you have made sure that you have done a buyer's broker's agreement consultation with your client, something to that order, and you press OK. So you see, when you say OK, they're recognizing that you did that. Now, if for some reason you get audited or whatever the case is that happens, and you go open a door without getting that client sign that document, yes, you could be entitled to a $2,000 fine. I'm going to tell you, I have gone to show my clients new ones, brand new ones, and I sent them the agreement. I sent it to their inbox. I have proof. I sent it, and they didn't sign it. And I pull up and I look and I said, man, they didn't sign it. Form simplicity, they still didn't sign it. I say to my staff, can you refresh it right now? They're pulling up. It gets refreshed, and I come out the car. Hey, Bianca, how you doing? It's so nice. Miss you. Hi. So shake hands. Oh, look at the baby. Oh, nice car. Hey, listen. Before we wait. Before we go in the house, you know the law says you have to sign the agreement. Oh yeah. It's hot outside. It's sweating. Everybody's sweating. I'm just wiping my eyebrows. Yeah, please sign it. They go in their email and they sign it on the spot. And I said, do you have any questions about it? I brought a copy right here if you want to talk about it. The main thing I want to point out to you, I'm charging you 5% commission for this. But don't worry, no, 5%. Yeah, don't worry, no. If the seller is paying 3%, I'll take it. But you're supposed to pay the 2%, but don't worry, we'll work it out. My value is here. Isaac, I hope that was helpful.
Yeah. He said he sent it to his buyers, but they didn't sign it because they live overseas. They may come back in December.
Well, you really don't have overseas, they're not here. They're not going to enter into any property. But you sent it to them. You're not showing them anything unless you're going to do a virtual showing. So, Isaac, if you want a one-on-one growth call, please, it's, there's no, this complimentary. Use that QR code on the left side of your screen and set up a one-on-one coaching call with a CPC. I'm sure I'll be the one to sit with you. Anybody else that has a takeaway or a question? What about Sandeep? Did he get what he wanted out of this?
Sandeep is not anymore with us, but we are 5 minutes over our time, so he probably had to go and left. But what I like also to point out is that sometimes in very particular cases, not all the time, but with people with whom it's very hard to establish trust. Some of our coaches actually recommend you sign a BRA just for the one property you're showing them or the two properties you're showing them. So just to make sure that in case they change their mind, you still get paid. And this is like specifically for people who deal with online leads and get a lot of people who they've never met before and who are requesting showings. It might be happening fast. So this is also something our coaches recommend, like not a 90-day binding period buyer representation agreement, but a buyer representation agreement just for the properties they're particularly going to see or they're requested it from.
Good point, Bianca. Thank you so much. And that's great. And it's a good point. It's a good point to doing that. And if you're feeling comfortable, remember you can do that. And what's also equivalent is you put in the 90 days, but on your termination, if you have a termination on there, it's $0. If there's a fee, $0. Or make it $10 or whatever, $50. It's up to you. Show the value. When you show value, people don't care. They want you and only you. And that takes selling skills. Very interesting. Get it. Anybody else before we go? It's a pleasure. Thank you so much once again. Is there anything in the chat that I should address before we go?
No, nothing anymore. I'd just like to close out the webinar by inviting everyone who's still here to our December mastermind session. We sent you the invite today and all the info, Paul, as well. So we're going to be doing a huge mastermind session with all of our coaches on December the 10th at 2 p.m. Eastern. And you're all welcome to participate and pick the brains of all of our coaches there. Last year, it was phenomenal. It was really one of the best sessions we have. So this year it's going to be even better. So everyone is welcome to the mastermind session. It's going to be 7 of our coaches there. So lots of wisdom to expect there, lots of tips. And we can't wait. We're super excited here.
Me too. I look forward to talking to that, having that opportunity for the forum. And I've also put into the chat the calendar link if you guys want to connect. But the mastermind, I remember doing that before last year and the year before perhaps, but it's a great time when we get all the coaches together and it's phenomenal. So you don't want to miss it. Sign up for it now and come out because next year is going to be a good year, guys.
Okay, that's a wrap. Thank you, everyone here. And see you soon. See you in December. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care, Bianca. Have everyone, a good Thanksgiving, okay? Everyone, a good Thanksgiving. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.